I just want to quickly apologise in advance if you hear any background noise. I've got all my windows open in my house. It is absolutely boiling. I'm not one of those British people that's complaining about the current heat wave. I'm actually enjoying it, even though it is a little bit concerning because of global warming, and it is very, very warm. I have got, look at these sweat patches. So I've not posted a video in a week and a half. I try and post every single week, but this past week has been a write-off. My friend got married at the weekend. I was a bridesmaid. I did a rap.
11 years ago, up in Carson's bar, Richard had Katie on his radar. To be honest, I didn't think it'd go far. He had 4 kids and didn't drive a car.
And I had like a 3-day hangover, so I'm only just coming around now. So after a short break, I've come back and I've got a video which I genuinely think might be the most disturbing one I've made yet. I'm Mary Mogg, welcome to my channel. I'm very glad you found me today. The male loneliness epidemic tends to provoke very different reactions depending on who you ask. Some people see it as a serious social issue, others dismiss it entirely. But regardless on where you stand, one thing is undeniable. More and more men are turning toward artificial forms of companionship. AI girlfriends are exploding in popularity. Virtual companions are becoming increasingly sophisticated, and modern love dolls are more realistic than ever before. For some people, that future is exciting. For others, it's deeply unsettling. I do touch more on this in my AI Girlfriends Are Validating Misogyny video, so if you want to go watch it, feel free. But during my research, I stumbled upon something far stranger. Because not every lonely man looking for artificial companionship is buying high-tech AI. Not every lonely man is spending thousands on hyper-realistic love dolls. Some are taking matters into their own hands. Literally. They're building their own companions from scratch with materials they find lying around the house, it seems. I wish I was joking. Now, you may be thinking this is just some weird internet lore, but it is very real and very scary. Because once I started digging into the communities dedicated to making these DIY dolls, I discovered some of the most bizarre things I've ever seen on the internet. Let me hold your hand through this journey. Because every single one of these dolls exist, and someone somewhere sat down and built them by hand over the course of weeks, maybe even months. If you've spent enough time on the weirder corners of the internet, you may have already seen these images. A life-size doll with a mouse head and a human body, wearing lingerie, sitting on a bed like it's posing for a photo shoot. For years, these images bounced around forums and image boards. People reposted them because they look completely insane. So, these images appear to trace back to the dreaded 4chan in 2010. Users were sharing photos of their gaming setups and computer desks, and then one anonymous poster uploaded something completely unexpected. He showed a room with large handmade stuffed dolls. Naturally, people wanted answers. What began as a simple battle station thread quickly turned into a full-scale internet investigation. Users discovered that the man had created not just one doll, but dozens. He had spent years hand-sewing life-size characters, giving them names, personalities, and elaborate backstories. His dolls were part of an entire fantasy world he had built around himself. And as more images surfaced, viewers got a glimpse into what became known as his fantasy room, a space filled with handmade characters arranged in different scenes and settings. Eventually, internet users traced the dolls back to a website called Stuffed Company and a YouTube channel called Dude Man 2. The channel features videos of the dolls interacting in stop-motion skits and voice-acted scenarios. And here are some examples.
Honey, stop jumping on the bed.
Okay, dude, man. Are you still staring at me?
Shake it like you mean it, baby. Come on, dance with it. Come on, shake it like you mean it, baby.
The creator himself provided the voices. A man of many talents, it seems. In others, members of his real family reportedly participated as well. What had initially looked like a bizarre one-off photograph turned out to be an entire private universe created by one man. The internet, of course, reacted exactly how you'd expect. The images spread like wildfire across 4chan, Reddit, and countless other forums. Some people laughed, some were genuinely concerned. Others became obsessed with uncovering more information. For years, the story continued to circulate as one of the internet's strangest rabbit holes. Eventually, Dudeman2's Handmade doll website disappeared. His YouTube channel went quiet, and the creator largely vanished from public view. The most likely explanation is that he stopped sharing his work publicly after years of becoming an internet spectacle and the target of endless mockery. This story remains one of the strangest examples of internet culture colliding with somebody's private hobby. Dudeman2 probably didn't expect a single post to lead to millions of people down a rabbit hole they still talk about more than a decade later. Can I just say the scariest part about this doll is the mouse head human body combo? I don't know, something with a mouse head shouldn't have hands and fingers. It's just a bit odd, isn't it? So, during my investigation into the phenomenon of DIY love dolls, I discovered that there are entire communities on Reddit and other sites. People showing off their handmade creations, people asking for advice, discussing materials, sharing improvements, entire posts dedicated to explaining how they built their own companion. You know, just in case anyone wanted to rush into making one themselves. And I have to say, some of the creations I found looked like they were dragged up from the depths of hell. I started this rabbit hole expecting to find a few bizarre photos. Instead, I discovered something far more sinister and concerning. Let's start with what we'll call the entry-level DIY dolls. Though calling them entry-level feels like a massive understatement when you actually look at them. So looking at this doll here, it is a life-size figure casually lounging on a red leather couch. The entire body is aggressively wrapped in layers of masking tape. The trainers are a nice touch. I also blurred the face because the maker of this specific doll had attached a picture of a real woman to the face of the doll, so obviously I want to protect her privacy. And yes, that is exactly what you think it is. In fact, there are a few creations crafted using the exact same tape and mummification method. This one with the lovely slim legs appears to be made of yellowing pillows, and the arms are crafted from cling film, I think. For Americans and Australians, I think it has another weird name. I don't know what it is. Shrink wrap or something, I don't know. And obviously I don't need to tell you about the added components. I think you can all guess what that is. This craftsman is really pleased with the shapewear he dressed his doll in. Baddie tea though. I must say I find this particular doll's face quite terrifying. I mean, it's just a blank purple face with a black hole in the centre. Whatever does it for you, I guess. I think I prefer the stuck-on faces. No, actually I don't. So here's a homemade doll found in the wild, sitting on top of a dirty cabinet. So it features a crudely drawn face, bright red plush mouth, and a $10 price tag taped to its stomach. The user on Reddit captioned it, "Homemade sex doll slightly used." So this one uses a realistic mannequin head with a brown wig and a black beanie. You know, in case it's cold, I guess. But the rest of the body is a chaotic mess. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm looking at here. The legs are made of plastic bottles. I think the creator of this doll literally went through his recycling bin to make this one. I mean, fair play, like, it's very Art Attack So this skeleton love doll may be the most terrifying of all the handmade dolls so far. So these images show a literal plastic Halloween skeleton, or it could even be one of those scientific model skeletons, hanging from the ceiling and posed in quite undignified ways on a bed. The creator also applied what looks like industrial foam to create thighs, hips, and a torso directly over the bones. But the skull has been left alone though, for some reason. I don't really want to know why they chose the skeleton. All I know is those eyes are staring into my soul, and I'm probably not going to sleep tonight. For years, these photos have floated around the internet with absolutely zero context, which is so fun and cool. So here is another Reddit post which shows an image of a man in prison with his small community of handmade dolls. I can't really find much information here, like a backstory. They may just be companions because the inmate is lonely. I don't know if they are specifically love dolls. But I actually love the mermaids, to be fair. They definitely add a touch of whimsy. I don't hate it. So another Reddit post here showcases a plush love doll. Apparently you can buy the body as a base and then build from there however you like. It's like Build-A-Bear Workshop, but love dolls. So, oh my god, my hair. So this guy talks about how he purchased all the bits and bobs he needed to create his perfect companion. Oh my gosh, right. The eyes went from 2 black circles to more detailed, cartoonish eyes. I really do feel like a nose would have really brought everything together though. So this guy, in his own words, created his perfect woman. He's got to be trolling. He's got to be. This has got to be a troll. Please, can someone confirm whether this is real or this guy is a troll, because he should not be walking our streets if it's real. So this guy goes on to say, this one can never run away. I guarantee if she could run, she probably would run a mile from you and jump off a building. Sorry, that was a bit dark. So this is horrific, truly. It looks like it's been made from the contents of a vacuum, or like the lint catcher in a tumble dryer, or maybe it's just years and years of his belly button fluff. I hate this one. Like, I really, really hate this one. More animal ones. Awful. This one has an anime style face with cat ears, pink stockings, etc. I really don't like how the legs are bent back like that. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies, honestly. And the overall vibe of this one is a bit noncy. Moving on. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's going on. So this one is like my sleep paralysis demon. Imagine seeing this at the end of your bed at night. Like you'd never be okay again. I actually think this one is even scarier than the skeleton. The head to body ratio is really upsetting me. And gloves in bed, come on. Who does that? But that's minor compared to the rest, I suppose. So these last images are of a deceased Russian man, obviously blurred, lying next to his handmade love doll. I'm guessing he passed away with no next of kin and was left undiscovered for a while. The doll is a bit of a telltale sign that this guy was lonely. By the time authorities finally got to him, his body was badly deteriorated. This man didn't just create this doll, he lived with it. He slept next to it, and it was the last presence, if you could call it that, he interacted with on this earth. He passed away huddled next to a desperate, makeshift illusion of human warmth. And this is where the true horror of this entire subculture hits you. We live in an era where male loneliness is treated like an abstract talking point. It's a topic that's regularly debated across social media, and tech companies are capitalising off that insecurity by telling men the solution is a multi-billion-dollar industry filled with state-of-the-art AI girlfriends and hyper-realistic love dolls. But what happens when that is inaccessible? We are left with the raw, terrifying reality of human desperation. The examples shown in this video proves the absolute extreme lengths the human mind will go to just to keep the crushing weight of isolation from destroying them. It's actually really quite sad, but still terrifying nonetheless. Well done for making it to the end, and I apologise if you are now traumatised. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You know, I'm a crafty girl myself, so I do kind of appreciate the hard work that went into some of these dolls in a weird way. Please give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you aren't already, and hit that bell icon. I hate saying stuff like this, but I have to. If you are a returning viewer or an existing subscriber, then I appreciate you so much, and I'm glad I've not scared you off. Yet. I've been Mary Mogg, and I hope to see you again for another deep dive.